Question number of Jacinda Ardern, supplementary
to the Minister. What evidence does she have to suggest that her department is currently failing, given Cabinet is suggesting a radically different funding model where, quote, a portion of social development's baseline funding could depend on their performance in meeting a target for reduction in the future liability?
The Honourable Bill English.
Oh, I don't know what the oohs are about. Mr Speaker, the department does its best with the tools that it has. It happens that that's left us with, with 320,000 people at least on benefits, 170,000 of whom have been there for 5 years, and 100,000 of them have been there for 9 of the last 10 years. Now, I know the Labor Party doesn't think we can do better than that. We believe we can, and we're willing to invest $1 million in Taylor Fried, but more importantly, in the last budget, $200 million in doing more for the most vulnerable population, which is the young mothers of young children. And that decision is directly connected to the investment approach informed by these experts.
Jacinda Ardern.
Supplementary to the Minister, why is she proposing to decrease her department's baseline funding if there is growth in the number of people on a benefit who need support to move into work, and increase their funding when there are fewer people who need this support, as proposed by her Cabinet papers? And how does this represent an investment approach?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, I'm not surprised that the Labor opposition, with their history of feeding off the misery of so many long-term beneficiaries, can't quite understand what we're trying to do.
I find it difficult to accept that that was an answer to the question asked. The question asked was seeking an opinion. Why was the government doing something? But the Minister should come to the question asked. The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, the investment approach doesn't consist necessarily of more money technically going into the departmental baseline, which is what the Labor opposition would do. This is about spending more money on the beneficiaries. The best example I can give the member is that we've identified 2,800 young New Zealanders under 18 who have children, and we are investing roughly $5,000 to $6,000 per head in those 2,800 young people to get them qualifications, to get them decent housing, to protect them from violence and drug addiction, and we believe that is a sound investment in reducing our long-term welfare cost. That won't appear in the departmental baselines, it will appear in another part of the estimates, but it is a significant investment we believe will be effective.
Jacinda Ardern.
Supplementary to the Minister, can he confirm that the number of people on the domestic purposes benefit and the unemployment benefit were lower under a Labor government than since he has come into office?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, I can confirm that, which just confirms that on planet Labor there was no global financial crisis.
Is this a supplementary question, Jacinda Ardern?
Supplementary to the Minister. Can she assure the House that she is the one with the primary responsibility for the investment approach funding agenda, when other ministers have signed off every single Cabinet paper on this issue, with one in particular signed off by Bill English as Finance Minister, Bill English on behalf of the Minister of State Services, and Bill English on behalf of the Minister for Social Development?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker.
Order.
Mr Speaker.
Order.
Well, the Minister of Finance
I apologise to the Minister, but if the question was asked in seriousness, the members asking it should be silent enough to hear the answer. The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, one would expect that such a busy and influential minister would have his signature all over the place. But I can say on behalf of the Minister of Social Welfare that was it? Mr Speaker, I better start again.
The Honourable Bill English.
Speaker,
I'd be very grateful.
I can assure that member that the Minister for Social Development is applying all her energy and capacity, which is enormous, to solving welfare problems that the Labor Party didn't care about and couldn't solve.
Question number 9, Dr Paul Hutchison.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. To the Minister of Health.